I'm Nate Eaton here with Candice Cooley. She is Dylan Round's mother. And Candice, I can't believe it's been nearly 2 months since he disappeared. Of course, if you're watching, you probably are very aware of this case, but we wanted to have Candice in here to get an update and talk about Dylan's birthday, which is coming up here in just a few weeks. So first of all, what can you tell us? What is new?
So what we know, there's stuff that we as, well, just Justin and I as mom and dad know, there is stuff going on. I know everybody thinks it's become this big stall and we're not out there searching and we're not having search parties, but there's a reason for that. We have information that we don't want to be out there searching. We don't want people out there searching because there is stuff behind the scenes that just can't be released to the public right now, but there's a reason.
So that you're saying on the law enforcement side of things are happening.
Yeah.
We do know that there's 2 people that lived in the area or were in the area. Chase Venstra, who has appeared in court, and then we have the other neighbor who was James Brenner.
Correct.
So can you tell people who are just tuning in how those guys knew your son and about the charges?
Yeah, so James, I knew him as Jim. He helped Dylan day work off and on. He helped him in southern Idaho take apart his pivot. He lived out on the property. He squatted out on the property when Dylan first discovered the area when he was like 15. He might have been 16 years old. So just a work acquaintance. I mean, you know, when you're out there and you've only got 6 people around you, you kind of get to know everybody. So that's how him and Jim, it was just, he'd help him on the farm when he needed it. As far as Chase, I never heard Dylan say that man's name, ever, until all this happened. I have no clue. I don't think they knew each other. I mean, probably just in passing from being in Montello and stuff. I did find out that Chase's son helped Dylan last summer on some day work, I believe when they were putting in the main line. But not Chase, and that was just one of the run into him in the Montello store and say, hey, you want to come out and help? I'm looking for help. But other than that, I never heard Dylan say Chase's name.
Okay, so James Brenner, it sounds like he's a felon, and so when the police went out to just serve a search warrant around the time that Dylan disappeared, they found weapons in his trailer.
Correct.
And as a felon, you're not allowed to own weapons. So he's been arrested. So he's been charged with possessing a firearm as a felon.
Correct.
And he's in custody in Utah. And then Chase Venstra also is in custody on firearms charges.
Yeah, and his charges, the last I know, and that may be the court appearance you heard about yesterday, was now the firearms that were in Chase's motorhome have been traced back to being stolen. And so now it goes a step higher because not only were you a felon with firearms, but you had stolen ones, which they're pretty sure he stole.
So you've got these 2 characters that lived out there. Do you think that they know what happened to Dylan?
So Chase didn't live out there.
Or Chase did not live out there. But he was visiting?
He would go back and forth between Montello and Ogden, and what we were told, and that's just what we were told, is he'd go over, steal stuff from Montello, hurry up, jump the border, go back to Ogden and sell it.
Okay.
That's what we were told by everybody, hence the stolen firearms.
And I guess, I appreciate you making that clear, because the way I think that we understand it is he may have had contact with Dylan around the time Dylan disappeared.
Yeah.
So do you think that there's more here in connection to your son?
I believe so. I mean, Brenner has been listed as an official suspect. In the affidavit that was served to get the warrant on Chase, they listed a homicide investigation. That was in the affidavit, and that's thrown up a lot of questions with people. So, I did clarify that with law enforcement. So Chase was set to be extradited to Montana, and they didn't want that happening. So not wanting that happening tells me something right there. We honestly haven't been told. But that's when they went in and got the search warrant. So in that affidavit, they put in, how'd they word that, conjunction with a homicide investigation. Come to find out, you can put anything you want in an affidavit for a warrant. None of it has to be true, but it's what you can put in it and kind of prove to get a judge to sign it faster. And that's what held Chase here.
Okay, so I guess we could summarize it by saying the police obviously believe that these guys might know something.
Correct.
Or that they're tied into it. But again, they have not to this point been charged. There's been some questions online that we can address with you. The first one being, why did Dylan go to this remote area, not in the state where he was living here in Idaho, in high school? Explain what took him to this area.
So we're catching a lot of criticism. A lot of people say we dumped our son out there. That is ridiculous. Dylan heard about this place from another gentleman that he'd worked with off and on, went and checked it out. It was perfect for him. He never had to worry about houses getting moved in on him. Dylan didn't want to go work for a big farmer. Dylan wanted to be a big farmer. So when he decided to do this and go out to Lucin, there was no competition. You got water rights, you got good soil, you just got to, make the alkali even out a little bit. You got everything you want being a young kid coming up wanting to make your own farm. Dylan couldn't buy ground here in eastern Idaho. Dylan can buy ground in southern Idaho. I mean, you're 10,000, 15,000 an acre. He wasn't thrown out into the desert. He found a place he could farm, and he was helped. Everybody enabled and helped him to make that dream come true. Not dump him out in the desert. I mean, and it was perfect because when Dylan finally got enough stuff together and he was able to go out there and make a go of it and farm is when COVID hit, so there was no school. He didn't have to go to school. It was canceled. It was perfect for him. It was like everything fell into place.
And I think a lot of people might see the area and think that's not farmland because it's not lush brown soil with trees and crops. But he wasn't farming vegetables. He wasn't farming corn.
And see, that whole area was developed, it was 14 years ago they pulled out. And I've been told it was Simplots that were there. I have never called to confirm that because I have no reason to. But like where the grain shed was and where Jim's trailer was and all that, there's like 20 hookups for water. For power, that's where all the farm help out there lived in their campers in the summer. It's not like this place has never been farmed before. It's just when the last people left, nobody's even realized it was there to go out and farm it, and Dylan has. He figured it out.
So he went out there. The other thing that a lot of people have asked is that he was involved in some romantic relationship with one or more of the men out there.
Yeah, and when this all started, any crazy idea. I mean, we were in such a frantic and we didn't have the help we needed. We're not professionals at this. We didn't know what to do. We listened to everything and that information came from a very unreliable source. There is no ground to it whatsoever. There is not a single person who actually knows Dylan that you can say that to that doesn't laugh. It's all that rumor mill started going, and when you're a parent and you're not getting help, you go to anybody, the YouTubers, all of this stuff that we did that's got this fire started. We didn't know any better. We were just trying to get it out there to get help, and so then it's just turned into a circus, and if people want to follow the circus, they can follow it. But that doesn't help us find Dylan. And none of it's true. Rumors and speculation is ridiculous when we have evidence and facts. So that's what us as a family are sticking to and just staying out of the big circus all these other people have created that don't know any of us.
There were some questions too a few weeks ago, maybe it was around the 4th of July, where you and Box Elder Sheriff's Office, and I believe Elko too, had said, please don't go out there and search.
Correct.
And some people were saying, well, if it was my kid, I'd be out there searching nonstop. Why don't they want help with the search?
Right.
Can you address that?
So what people got to realize is the FBI and Box Elder have been out there. And they have been gathering stuff from the soil, from that immediate, they have been all over it. They've had more heavy equipment out there. They've had more dogs out there. They have been all over it. You take somebody who's untrained and just think they're gonna go out there and be the hero. They're stepping over the stuff that the FBI and Box Elder County are now gathering, and Elko and all these law enforcement agents that are now involved. Us going out there, civilians, we just ruined stuff. I mean, the whole crime scene, the whole scene, we call the crime scene now, was so tainted from the beginning because of how it was handled. Everything that's there needs to be preserved. And I am sorry, you're not going to go out and go walking through that desert and just stumble across my son, because we have been everywhere. Horses, dogs, air, ATVs, search and rescue. I mean, I think we had, 6 choppers out there, multiple planes. I mean, we have covered it. Now that we've gathered evidence, it's kind of taken a different direction. And we need to let it go that direction and not destroy what's left.
Mm-hmm. Dylan's birthday's coming up.
Yes.
20th?
20th.
On August 1st. And what is that like, knowing that, well, let's hope he's here.
Right, yeah.
For his birthday.
Yeah, hopefully he's here. You know, we've had so many people reach out and asking, you know, so that's why we decided to do the seed tribute.
Yeah, talk about that.
So we're gonna do, we want to do sunflowers because Dylan loves sunflowers. How big they'd grow. You know, he'd grow the giant ones when he was younger. So we were gonna do those, but it's a little late in our season. So that's why we went with the Black Eye Susans, because they kind of look the same. And just, we've got people from Australia to South America that have reached out. So we'll have Scotty's and Rigby, some of our local stores in the Hazelton, Magic Valley area. I have some help in the Box Elder area. We'll put the packets together, distribute them as best we can, and then for those who can't get their hands on them, just plant something for them.
Do you remember what you did on his 19th birthday last year?
He was farming. Grain harvest. Yeah,
so he was working.
He was working, yep. Yeah, when he was younger, we'd do fireworks. I'd go to Jackson. We'd do fireworks all the time. But he was always in the fields. I mean, he was born during grain harvest, and he's always in the fields on his birthday. You know, find him and give him lunch. You could tell him, come on, son, I'll take you wherever you want to go. No, I'm working. Okay.
Well, I know when there's missing people's cases, in the beginning, you think of every scenario possible.
Right.
You know, are they alive? Are they dead? Where could they be hiding? Are they kidnapped? Whatever it may be. And when those court documents came out that said homicide investigation, and when you've learned more and more that the public may not know, what has the feeling been like in your mind?
Honestly, to have Box Elder switch it and say those words has been a relief, because what needs to be done is getting done. We pretty much all knew from the first day we went out there, and I know people think that's horrible to say, and nobody wanted to believe it, especially us. You know, Justin and I, we didn't want to believe it, but we both know our son, and we know nothing would take him away from his farm. Absolutely nothing. Not even for a day. He had to get the rest of that seed in the ground. Nothing would have taken him away from there. So it was just one of those gut feelings where you don't want it to be true. It's your parents' worst nightmare. But when you have a kid like Dylan, and his patterns and his drive and his passion has been there, you know, since he was a little kid, and that's his baby, we knew he wouldn't leave. There's no way. Not just not leave, but leave without his pickup. You know, leave without his boots. You know, all this stuff was right in front of us from day one. It was all right there.
So what happens now?
We wait. There's a lot of stuff being processed. So hopefully that'll give us a few more answers. There's been some stuff that has been processed that's given us some answers. And we hope one of these two guys talks.
And we know that so far Dylan has not been found.
Correct.
But again, his birthday's August 1st, so they're packets of seeds. Yep. And you're asking people that are interested to plant them in his honor. Yeah,
and like I said, there'll be Scotty's and Rigby. They'll have a couple thousand of them, and they'll kind of be everywhere. And people can go to the Facebook page and request them. And you know, you don't have to get the ones from us. Just we've got trees dedicated to them. I mean, we've got people they love the kid.
How have you all been holding up? I mean, it's been 2 months. There's a lot of nasty commenters, people saying stuff online. Yeah. How has your family been?
We're okay. We're the comments, the focus that has come on to, especially me, that was driven by me. I'm the one who caused the fire to get the focus off of the negativity towards Dylan. I'm fine. People can say whatever they want. The people who know me know me. The people, like I said, that want to follow the circus, they should be ashamed. You know, you're talking about a young man missing, and you are out there pointing fingers about the parents and their past and stuff that's just so ridiculous. Like, I abandoned my kids for 3 years. No. I mean, it's astronomical, the stuff that people come up with. and want to believe the kids have been back and forth between me and Justin since we got divorced 15 years ago. You know, just all of this craziness that's been portrayed onto the family, it did what we wanted. It took it off of Dylan. I mean, these YouTube videos now, all this stuff that's going on, they don't even hardly mention Dylan's name. You know, they're on a witch hunt for the family. So I guess if that makes people feel like they're doing something to help bring Dylan home, you know, there's no sense in even trying to dispute it with them, because they got their mind made up. And it doesn't help any of us.
And you all have one official Facebook page.
Yes.
With official updates that you can follow.
Yep.
And we, of course, will continue to follow it here as things develop, and hopefully there will be big developments soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
Thank you, Candice.
You're welcome.